And we are working with the Lohr Road Resurfacing Project planned between Textile Road and Regents Park Court in Pittsfield Township. I'm the communications manager, and I'll be your host today, along with my project managers and our communications associate, Emma Sharp, will monitor the chat. We also will have our presenters are Mike Bernbeck, project manager, and Aaron Burkholtz, senior project manager. Now you will be admitted into the, you should be being admitted into the room right now. The meeting is being recorded, and it will be, the project page will go to the WCRroads.org, will be uploaded to the WCRCroads.org page. You will be asked to virtually raise your hand during our Q&A portion. We will go over that later in the presentation. The chat is enabled. If you have any questions that you want to ask during the presentation, please feel free to put your contact information in so that we can field those questions, and we'll try to answer those in the chat. And also we will take those during the Q&A portion. We'll go forward with that once we get into the presentation, and during the Q&A, we'll get to your questions. Without further ado, I'll turn the presentation over to our project managers, which is Aaron and Mike.
Good morning, everyone. Certainly appreciate all of you taking the time this morning. My name is Aaron Burkholtz. I'm a senior project manager here with the Washtenaw County Road Commission. And my role on the project will be to assist Mike Bernbeck. Mike will be the primary point of contact for the project, but I'll be here in a support role to help Mike out. And certainly I'd be available to field questions should those come up.
Yeah, sorry, I had a little technical difficulties as well, first time this year. I'm Mike Bernbeck, I'm the project manager, and I have my responsibility is the 2023 countywide road resurfacing program. Lohr Rd is one of a number of millage jobs, countywide millage jobs that are funding these projects this year. So that's what this meeting's about. So we can move forward. And next slide, please. The project, the beginning, the closure will be Monday, the 24th of April. It will be, we'll have it closed by 7 a.m. It will be, while we have it closed, it is not open to through traffic. And if we do have a detour route, excuse me, that will take us down Textile to Maple to Ellsworth, and back to Lohr Rd. Current conditions are as perceived here. The surface is not in good shape. That is why we've chosen, there's a number of other issues below the surface. So that's why this operation is going to be a pulverization of the existing road, unlike last year where we just milled and filled. So we're going to be pulverizing and resurfacing the road and placing new pavement markings from the intersection of Textile to the Regency Park Court. So this was a project a number of years ago. You can see the existing road on the right-hand side, and after we grind up the surface, it turns into another aggregate surface that we then can shape, compact, and create a new road bed for the new asphalt that we're going to be placing. So that's what this just is a demonstration. When we're done and ready with the grading and compacting, that is when this is what the surface will look like. And then we start with our 2-inch lifts two 2-inch lifts of asphalt. And when we're done and we open up the road, it will look like this as we have added the gravel shoulders on the outside edge here. So this is the end product that we strive to make every time. As I said, the funding for this road is a county road wide road millage of $350,000. And the road commission covers the remaining costs through our Michigan transportation funds. And right now we're estimating that our job will be at $390,000. So we're looking for a 2-week turnaround. So the week of the 24th will be our pulverization and regrading. And then the paving crew will be on site Monday, May 1st, weather permitting. So, and we should be have that done by the end of that week, thus the 2-week time period that's traditionally been how long it's been taking us to do a portion like this. The impact to traffic, we have the road closed. We do have the detour set up. We have spoken with and coordinated with the Saline Area School for the bus routes. So we got that taken care of. As I said before, the detour will be textile over to Maple Road, Maple up to Ellsworth Road, and Ellsworth back to Lohr Road. So. And here's my information. It's also on our website, which the communications department will take care of that part, but you can reach me at these two contact informations and I'll be happy to answer your questions during the project. And if you have concerns, I would like to hear from you.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, and just thank you very much, Mike. A good overview of this upcoming road investment. As Mike mentioned, the road is in an advanced state of deterioration. We recognize that, and we appreciate the voters of Washtenaw County supporting the renewal of the current road millage. We're in the midst of that. Next year is the last year of the current road millage. And again, thank you to everyone that's attending who pays property taxes here in Washtenaw County. This is one of the resulting benefits from you being willing to participate in this program. Mike highlighted that the road will be closed. And I noted in the chat, one of the questions that popped up, I think Dana asked, the bike path will be open. Yes. So the bike path will remain open during the road closure. But it really is important for motorists to adhere to that road closure. Again, the closure would be just north of the intersection at Textile and just south of the intersection at Regents Park Court. And we will be coordinating with Pittsfield Township Police as we might need to. They've been very helpful in the past on our projects. We very much appreciate that because unfortunately, what we've experienced, particularly since the pandemic back in 2020, is that motorists do not adhere to road signs. And it not only endangers the motorists, but it endangers the workforce that's trying to perform the road improvement. Here recently, just in the past 2 months, 2 road commission employees have been killed by motorists, one most recently in Van Buren County, and one prior to that in Berrien County. So again, it's very important that motorists in the area comply with the road closure to allow us to get in there and safely and efficiently complete this project. Access to the adjacent subdivisions to the west and to the east of Lohr Road, the best way to get in and out of there is off a Textile Road. Really, at this point, it is not our intention to maintain access into those subdivisions off of Lohr Road. So really for those that live in those subdivisions. They're going to need to come in and out off of Textile Road. We recognize that increases the length of your travel. But again, we're trying to complete this project safely and efficiently, and really keeping motorists out of that work zone helps us do that, and we end up with a better final product. So Mike mentions he's been in contact with the Saline area schools. They're aware that this project is forthcoming. And also we do stay in contact with emergency services so that they're aware that the road will be closed. And again, for emergency services, if there would be some need for them to come up through the project, we would do our best to get them through. But again, our best experience has been is just having clear communication with emergency responders and letting them know what we're up to. So just a few additional notes there. I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron and Mike. Now, I will show you how to get to this project on our website. If you're on Google, you can go to wcroads.org, and our website shows up. Then you'll go to the Road Work and Construction tab. Click on Current Projects. You will then scroll down until you see the Lohr Rd project in Pittsfield Township. You click on Lohr Rd, and that's where you'll find the project page with all the information on there, the latest updates. You see this virtual public meeting there about the resurfacing project. You'll see Mike's contact information, the detour map, and then you'll see where you can subscribe to project updates. And this is how you subscribe to project updates. And now I'll turn it over to Emma for the question and answer portion.
Good morning still, everyone. My name is Emma, and I'm the Communications Associate here at WCRC. And thank you, Mike Bernbeck, Tiffany, and Aaron Burkholz, all for helping us through that presentation. Now we're going to go through the question and answering period. So if you are viewing the meeting from your computer, first make sure to click the Join Audio. Then you can raise your hand by clicking on the Participants button or the Reactions button at the bottom of your screen, and then the Raise Hand button at the bottom of your screen. It should be on the right, I believe. If you dialed into the meeting from your touch tone phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. As the meeting host, I will unmute participants with raised hands one at a time. I will announce your username or the last 4 digits of your phone number when it's your turn to speak. So we'll go back and forth between questions people put in the chat and then people raising their hands. We are happy to answer as many questions as possible, but please just be respectful of each other's time. If your question is unanswered if your question is left unanswered at all during this meeting, or if you still have some further questions that you'd like to ask, again, please leave your contact information in the chat feature so that way we can reach out to you at a later time. And then if your question is answered before you are called on, you can lower your hand by clicking on the lower hand button or dialing *9. Okay. I see that Stephen Lynn is interested and has his hand raised, so I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself, okay?
There, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. I think this is a question probably for Aaron. With the lot that is for sale by Stonebridge Golf Course, we've seen some recent information that may be developed over the next year or so. The question is, will there be any required cutting of the pavement to put utilities over to that property? And just the concern being, a lot of times we'll see a new road get laid down and then a contractor has to cut into it and the patches never last like the rest of the road.
I believe at this time that is still in its infancy. and we don't know what, we don't know, in our group, we don't deal with those, and we don't really know what the developer's trying to do as well.
Is there any way to accommodate that with some sort of a pipe or something under there so they don't have to cut the road surface later?
There's nothing at this time because they haven't even requested anything from our permits department. So we don't have any information. That would be something to talk to the township about, but we typically don't put any predisposed pipes or anything for that until they have their plans and notified. But I do know that there's sanitary sewer on that west side of the road as well. So they may have all that in place right now anyways.
Yeah, and Stephen, it's certainly a very thoughtful question that you ask. We do our best to coordinate with developers, with franchise utilities, to try to avoid just what you've described. Certainly it's frustrating for us, for the motoring public, when we complete one of these resurfacing projects at significant expense, and then have the road cut open for a utility. But as Mike mentioned, at this point, the development of that reference property is so much in its infancy that we don't have any details here at the Road Commission on that yet. So it would be pretty difficult for us to try to accommodate any utilities that might need to go under the road. Certainly, there are various ways of installing utilities under a road, and that's something that we do keep in mind at the point at which we need to issue a permit to a utility or to a developer. We keep in mind the age of the road, and certainly if it's a newer segment of road, we're thinking of alternatives that might be available that would forego the need to cut the road open.
Okay, well, thank you, Mike and Aaron, for the response.
No problem.
Okay, now I'm going to go to the chat and I'm going to read the questions aloud. Dave Sullivan asked, Mike, there has been a few issues with the sewer line just north of waterways on Lohr Road, and the road has never been the same. Are we going to address those issues, or have they been addressed?
They, we go to Regency Court, Park Court. So if it happened, if there's been issue, I know there's manholes there. We have contacted and kept in touch with Pittsfield Township. Those castings will be adjusted properly as we're putting in the new pavement. So hopefully that takes care of the situation with the road surfaces. I know it was magnified quite a bit after last year's milling project that I really didn't realize how bad the riding surface was until last year when I completed the other project. So we should have a good road, and Pittsfield has not, to my knowledge, they don't have any concerns with their system right now either. So, but I do talk to Billy at Pittsfield Township on a regular basis with this kind of work. So I will bring that up to him.
Okay, and then Stephen Lynn has his hand raised again, so I'll ask you to unmute yourself. Give me 1 second.
Again.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I like to ask a lot of questions. This probably more of just a comment. I don't know if there's really a response to this, but at the entrance to North Silo Ridge off of Lohr, during the winter, it's kind of low on one side of the intersection there, and it does get to a pretty large ice patch. So I guess presuming that everything will be leveled up at the entrances to the roads, to the neighborhoods.
Yeah, well, I do address a little bit of the approach, and that I do recall seeing that same situation that you've discussed. So I think between what our crews did this spring with the taking the berm off the edges of the road, and what I'm going to be doing, I believe we should have that in better better handled.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, the next question in the chat is from Dana Jones, and I think Aaron already answered this, but it was about the bike path being open during construction, and I believe, Aaron, you
That
said
is
yes, it
correct.
will be, right? Okay,
That is correct.
awesome. And then Dave Sullivan asked, how do we keep people from cutting through waterways in Silo Ridge, which again, I believe we already answered, kind of staying in touch with Pittsfield Township Police and making sure
Yes.
that we're monitoring those neighborhoods, right?
That is correct.
Awesome, okay.
Yeah, and it's not uncommon. And what motorists who are unfamiliar with the area are going to find is, and we run into this on other projects, they're going to think that if they go up one of those subdivision streets that they can get around the construction, and that's not the reality of the situation. If they go up either of those streets coming off a textile and they try to go north to go around the construction, they can't get all the way through. They can go quite a ways, but it won't take them all the way through. But just as Emma mentioned, really it's us communicating with Pittsfield Township Police. Those roads that are in those subdivisions are public roads. They're public county roads, so motorists can drive on them, but really it would be addressing motorists who are driving in an unsafe manner, motorists that are speeding. And again, we have to rely on law enforcement to help us with those type of issues.
Awesome, okay. And then it seems like the last comment that we have in the chat is that Dave Sullivan is saying there is a sinkhole just north of Textile on the west side as an FYI.
Yep. Yeah, I'm aware of that. we're going to be grinding that right out. And so that we should be, we'll be attending to that issue. So thank you very much.
Okay, so if there's not any more questions, just want to give a final round. Please send your questions in the chat or raise your hand. It looks like we're all good. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone, for attending. Much appreciated.
Thank you, everyone, for attending. And if you have any questions that you still want answered or you need to contact Mike, please feel free to reach out to him. His contact information is on the screen. You see it there. He's willing to answer all questions in reference to this project, the Lohr Rd project. So thank you and have a great day. And thank you for attending our construction meeting.